Hello again, guys. We are 2 weeks out from lockdown, or 10 days if you want to call it that. So let's review what happened on last week's Impact, the April 1st edition. First, we got the recap from the previous week, where Sting returned and ruined AJ's ceremony. Then Sting opened the show and cut a promo on Styles and his mentor Ric Flair. And then Sting announced he's the new #1 contender for the world title. Then we got the angle where Bischoff was about to suspend the Biz, but Joe interrupted him and said he wants a one-on-one match. AOX beating Team 3D via shenanigans, and Morgan demanding to have a handicap match on next week's show. Then we got Steiner and PT being in good relationship again. Guns tying the series at 2-2, so now we're gonna have the blow off. Then we got on a Kazarian and Amazing Red confrontation. Dinero beating Suicide in the Open Challenge. Then we got Joe beating Abyss via DQ. We've got Robbie and Zack Ryder complaining about Christy Hemme. Then we got the World Elite guys who ambushed the babyfaces. And Creed returning. Awesome Kong having a squash match. Zack complaining to Christy about Robbie's behavior. Angelina's confrontation with the Beautiful People and losing to Madison Rain. Then we got Styles and Flair shocked at Bischoff's decision granting Sting. Because if you want to look at it objectively, Sting was just granted the title shot because he returned. It's just that I don't really have any top contender right now, so Sting and Styles sounds like a good main event for lockdown. We got Angle cutting a promo on Daniels. We got the main event where Daniels and Steiner beat Angle and RVD when Steiner pinned RVD. And the post match was a continuation of this Angle and Daniels feud. So now we move on to the show today. And of course, when I'm booking the show, I've got the script in front of me, so I can, I can explain to you guys what I'm doing. I can explain the angles. I can book very fast because I already know what I'm gonna book. I'm just not booking on the fly. I'm not a genius. So I already said that I like to put all of the angles I'm running on each show so they all get a continuation. That's what I'm doing. That's what I will always do. So the first segment was, of course, the recap segment, which I'm doing for every show. I just like having a recap segment at the beginning because this is how most TV shows begin. We got a recap from the previous week. If someone is tuning in this week, we got a recap last week's show. This is just like a script for the show, but we want to see it play out. So the show will actually open with AJ coming out with Flair, and they'll complain about Sting getting the title shot as they did last week, but this time Sting is gonna come out. So here we're gonna have a confrontation with AJ and Sting, and Sting is just gonna come out and he'll tell him that he's gonna take the world title, of course, at Lockdown. And of course, Sting is gonna tell him that there needs to be an end to this reign of AJ, which goes for maybe 8 months at this time. He became champion, I think, in September, so this is in April. 7 or 8 months. So also, Sting is scheduled to face Abyss on this show. So this is what Sting just said this in front of the crowd to close the segment. So it's a confrontation between AJ and Sting will announce that he'll face Abyss. Then backstage, we're gonna have Worker goes into another locker room. This is, of course, the segment after this. We're gonna have Samoa Joe approach Sting and pretty much ask him if he would like to be special enforcers for the match, because Abyss, if you follow the storyline, is pretty much doing whatever he wants. He's hitting people, he's being pretty aggressive. Bischoff tried to suspend him, but Joe demanded last week to face him, and also won via DQ, but was again attacked. So the storyline here is Abyss being pretty much crazy as how he is in real life. And Sting will agree, so the main event of the show will be Sting versus Abyss, and Joe as a special guest referee. So right now we're gonna have a random match between Beer Money and this temporary tag team of Zack Ryder and Robbie E. They're gonna miscommunicate. So Beer Money are heels, but the losers will argue. The point of this match is to have Beer Money, have some momentum before the pay-per-view, because we are setting the contenders between the Guns and Generation Me, but Beer Money doesn't have anything to go. So until lockdown, we're gonna have them beating random guys. And then post-match, we're gonna have a cheap shot, insult training, I guess. This is probably the last match I'll put with Zack and Robbie E, because it's getting ridiculous. They're fighting all the time over Christy Hemme, and they can't figure it out. So this match gives Beer Money some momentum, and then we got the continuation to the Robbie E and Zack Ryder story with Christy Hemme. Then we're gonna have a challenge for next show, and we're gonna have Scott Steiner challenging RVD. Guess to what kind of a thing they're gonna do. We're gonna have a bench press contest on next week's show. I'm not planning on putting them on the pay-per-view, because my pay-per-view is pretty much stacked, so I don't want to put Steiner and RVD at lockdown. I'm gonna build it up till Sacrifice. Then we're gonna have the last match of the best of 5 series between the Guns and Generation Me. And of course, we have the faces winning, so the Guns will go over and they will go on to lockdown to face the champions Beer Money. Clean win, put on a good match. The Machine Gun Celebrate. We're gonna have put on a good match. Then we have an Awesome Kong squash match. I'll do the same thing I did last time. When I'm doing a squash match, I'm just putting the wrestler I want to do the squash with some other person on the roster, and then I'm just picking up a random name. Let's say she'll beat ODB. I don't have time to sign workers on open contracts and to put them on Impact for one match. It's gonna be pointless, and I have to pay them extra. So we're just gonna have a normal match, and then we're gonna pick up some random name, just gonna call it a squash. So this will be a segment where the Pope will again come out and run his mouth. And he'll say he's the fucking greatest champion. He's, typical heel thing. He wants a bigger challenger for the Open Challenge. Who do you think will come out? This will be the payoff of this angle. Not really, but this will be the new story we're gonna get. The Pope will get his answer challenge by the returning Jeff Hardy, and of course Jeff is gonna beat him. So Jeff is getting the title shot at Lockdown at his global title. Great return from Jeff. Put Jeff over. Now we have to skip through the first part of the show. Joe lost overness talking to Sting. That's bullshit. That's a normal rating for a match. This is disappointing. 72% for like an end of the best of 5 series. This show is gonna suck. 77% for this show. So let's see the next, not this show, but 77% for this booking sheet. Of course, we're continuing with the show. We have a lot of other storylines to run. We have a handicap match which was promised last week. Matt Morgan will face both Homicide and Hernandez, so he's feuding with both of them. Now I know that some of you are gonna say that it's probably, well, I don't know if anyone's watching or not, but it's kind of stupid to have Jeff, let's say cheating. Jeff Hardy being put in a global title match with D'Angelo Dinero, he should fight for the world title, but I have other plans for the world title. I just have too many big guys. I have too many main eventers. I have like Sting, Angle, AJ, RVD, Jeff Hardy, Mr. Anderson, Joe. I have a lot of guys, so I can't put them all in the world title picture. I am planning a 3-way main event for Sacrifice, and I just like planning in advance. So my booking is pretty, how to say, it's pretty structured. I like developing all the storylines. I like to have a logical conclusion. I don't like having random bullshit on the show with no build, hot shot. Yeah, you can pretty much guess what I'm doing. So this is a continuation of the World Elite versus the Babyface mid-card feud, where we paired up Jay Leto, Kendrick, and Eric Young with Creed against Abdul Bashir, Douglas Williams, Kiyoshi, and Tonko for now. But Tonko is not part of World Elite. World Elite is only Bashir, Williams, and Kiyoshi. So this is gonna be Leto challenging Bashir to a match at Lockdown, but Bashir is gonna say that if his team wins next week, so if World Elite beats Creed, Young, and Kendrick, he's not gonna get the match. But if the babyfaces win, they're gonna have the match. So it's pretty obvious what's gonna happen here. Now we're gonna have the X Division stuff, because here we have an interesting twist and turn. So the last few weeks, I've been building up Kazarian being kinda good to Amazing Red. He was trying to gain sympathy and gain another title shot, because Kazarian lost clean at Destination X. Kazarian lost clean, so he tried a lot of tactics. So the only thing I am left to do is pretty much turn him, because he's a babyface. So I'll just have him attack and cost Red the match, and I'm just gonna have him post-match attack red, and then we're gonna cut a promo on him. The X Division stuff is pretty simple. I don't really have like a great storyline right now for the X Division. I'm trying to put the title on Kazarian, and maybe I'll try to make up some storylines, but I have a lot of other storylines planned for a lot of guys, so right now the division is pretty much all matches. You can't put all the guys and all the title belts in complex storylines. It's just not a reality. As we can see on TV, Raw barely has any storylines at all. They only have like matches and contendership matches, but for me, in order to enjoy wrestling, I like to have some complexity behind some of the storylines. I like to have at least one major storyline. Yeah, we have a 6-man tag with the knockouts. It's really nothing out of ordinary. The next segment is gonna be the sub-main event. So for this angle, I have planned to have Daniels come out in Angle's clothes, pretty much, and he's gonna attempt to mock Angle. As you can remember, when Angle had his feud with Anderson, Anderson pretty much mocked him and dressed like the Olympic champion. So yes, Angle is gonna mock him. Daniels is gonna mock Angle, and he's gonna make fun of him, and Angle's gonna come out, but Daniels is gonna bail. I don't know why I chose the humanizing Angle, but the point of this angle is Daniels to pretty much rile up Kurt, and when Kurt comes out, Daniels will just run away. So at least we get some kind of a confirmation that these two will face off at Lockdown. Now we got the main event, which is Abyss against Sting. And because Abyss is too dangerous, we're gonna have Joe enforcing from ringside. He's not gonna be a guest referee. He's gonna be a special enforcer. And Joe is gonna play a big role because Sting will win. We don't have the option here, but Sting will win following a Joe pretty much blocking Abyss from using his weapon. So this is great. We got this match out of the way. So this is advancing again two storylines. We are advancing the Abyss and Joe, because Joe is going to prevent Abyss from using the weapon and winning, and Sting is going to go over, and then we're going to have AJ come out. He's gonna fail. AJ is gonna try to sneak attack Sting and fail. Either this or they're gonna have a stare down. They're gonna have some sort of a confrontation, and we're gonna have a confirmation that the next week is gonna be a contract signing for this. So next week we got AJ and Sting contract signing, because next week is the go home show. This angle actually got good segment, 89% for a Daniels angle humanizing, 87 for Abyss and Sting, 82. So this show gets exactly what the last show did, 77%. So the next time we're gonna meet, we're gonna be at the go home show for Lockdown, so stay tuned.